Hey everybody, Sarah Gulu here today. So coming at you with a little bit of a different format here. I'm going to be answering questions from the computer that you all have posted on my channel. Normally I read it like from the same computer. So this is my like monthly kind of a update. If you have questions, then please post them to my channel. The other thing is, if you have a question I've already answered in a previous video, then I'm going to just say skip because I'm getting the same questions over and over again. For example, do I get my MBA versus CFA? I've answered this a million times. I have a video on it. You should search on my channel. There's a little search box. You should search on my channel. So having said that, by the way, please subscribe to this channel. It really helped me out. I've really helped a lot of all of you. I'm sure you've seen my other videos with my content. So if you could really just subscribe and maybe share this channel with your friends, I'd really appreciate it. So the first question is something about, so I'm doing research online and I recently came across a few videos that mentioned, okay, sorry, someone's like, forget about that. Please help us to know how to study for the CFA along with job tips. Check out the CFA preparation playlist on this channel. If you don't know how to access the playlist function in YouTube, then please watch a YouTube tutorial on that. And also there's job tips in the portfolio management section of this channel as well. And can you please send me examples of the reports? Don't stop asking me for that on this channel. I've told you guys and girls watching this, women and men watching this, email me. I'm going to put my email out in the summary box below. I don't have time to collect everybody's emails from different places. If you email me directly, I respond once a month to everyone that asks me for things, but I can't go parsing them out. It's from the scattered million different ways people contact me. Sorry. Sorry if I sound blunt, I am. If you have watched any of my other videos, you know that. So if you don't like it, there's other channels you could watch. I encourage you to watch them. Thank you for the video. Dealing with people's expectations is so hard. I'm so nervous inside hearing people mindlessly saying, oh, don't worry, you will pass. It definitely doesn't help. Yeah, that's about getting the CFA exam results back. So I don't know. For me, the CFA exam was something that kind of taught me that it was kind of a mental, like a mental tenacity, but also a mental strength building exercise for me because I was an English major. I was definitely the underdog. Nobody thought I was going to pass. People were very negative about it. When I, in fact, did pass, people refused to believe me and told me I had to verify it myself with the CFA Institute. Like, that was how skeptical people were of me. But through all of that, it taught me actually not to listen to those voices and instead to listen to my own voice, and that was really important. And I think that has helped me in everything else that I've done. So you'll learn that too, but just like hear my advice that you really need to start tuning those people out because it really is just distracting. And you can't afford to be distracted. This exam is too hard. And anytime you're pursuing anything that's really going to be worth doing that not many people can do, that is going to reward you, it reward you heavily. Anytime you do that, you notice the people that accomplish these things are not distracted people. You know what I'm saying? It's like no one who's successful thinks like that. All right. Okay, so and dealing with expectations, I guess because I've just had so many people be negative about me about what they thought I was going to turn out to be and proving them all wrong, I just have learned that the only expectation that really matters is your own. And if you hold yourself to high standards but that are correct standards, and you listen to that voice, then you'll find that you'll eventually meet them, and because it's going to be a lot less discouraging, when you're held to your own standards instead of standards other people kind of want to believe about you. I wanted to get some tips about the required needed skills to compete in the international markets and get a job. This is from RH. So RH, thank you. I actually don't know what kind of a job that you want. So if you're watching this video, RH, I'm going to approve your comment onto the channel. Just please respond to me in the comment section with your response of what job you want. I really can't respond without knowing that, sorry. Great insight. What are your thoughts on writing for an online platform? This was on a video. This is Aaron Imhotep, and this is on a video, I think, about how to get into equity research. And when I talked about how to get a job as an equity research analyst, which everyone's always asking me, what are your thoughts on writing for online platforms such as Seeking Alpha if you're not already working in that? I mean, yeah, Seeking Alpha is great. There's not only a lot of information that you can gain from the other writers on there, like that's a tremendous value, is that if you're on Seeking Alpha posting your own stuff, don't forget that it is a community. And most of the people on there are not investment professionals by training, but they do have some very interesting things to say. And often because they're not biased by what the firm's view is, or sometimes if firms hold a long or a short position on a particular security, then they can't speak otherwise about it. So just keep in mind that it is, I guess you could say, more independent than most, and there's an awful lot of information on there. So yes, I mean, by all means, write and produce, because that can only help you to get your story straight, and that'll be helpful in interviews. You never know who will see you. You will have something, and it does build credibility a little bit to show that you're writing and you've put time into it and you can put together a cohesive thought about this. So I would say definitely go for it. But don't also, but like if you're looking for a job, don't let these kind of job prep activities take over what you really should be doing, which is the hard stuff that no one really wants to do, which is getting out there, talking to people, getting informational interviews, or just getting interviews with people. Nothing is really going to replace actions that you take with other people that are connected or that are influencers that are close to the position that you want to get you there. There's really nothing in the world that can replace that. So, I mean, yes, write the equity reports, do it all, but also don't forget that, at the end of the day, you do have to put yourself in position, and posting things on the internet that people may not read. It's a tool, but it's not it. Okay, it's not the number one thing. Can an Asian trader start a hedge fund in the USA? Just testing, just testing water. I have taken part in a global hedge fund contest, and got 190% of return. This is from First Citizen on my channel. So First Citizen, what I would say to you is that anything is possible. I don't know about how that would work though, about how you're from Asia and you want to start a fund in the US. Not quite sure if you can have investment accounts in the US if you're located abroad. I'm not a securities lawyer, so I don't have the exact answer, but I would suggest that you consult somebody if you are serious about that pursuit. Now, about you getting 190% return, I mean, I always say it sounds good, but can you verify it? Do you have an audited track record? Is that something that people are going to really believe? And how big was the portfolio? Was it $1 million portfolio, or was it like $100 portfolio, right? So, or was it just a hypothetical portfolio? Because remember, nobody met a back test that they didn't like. Okay. This is from Sahil Swaroop. My name is Sahil. I'm from India, 21 years old, trading futures, swing and day trading, blah, blah. I want to one day open a hedge fund, but I don't know how to think scale and don't know how hedge fund is started thinking of getting this. Okay. So you don't know how to scale or start the hedge fund, thinking of getting the CFA, and also trading your own funds. My question is, how is the CFA teaches a lot of fundamental based approach towards investing, and I trade based on charts, only no news. So do you think the CFA would be worth a person like me to take? Will doing the CFA lead me to contacts that will help me set up my fund one day? Only you can lead yourself to contacts that will allow you to set up your fund one day. I think the CFA is a great idea. I think that a lot of people have used it, myself included, as a way to meet potential clients, potential employers. And it certainly is a wonderful networking opportunity if you take it that way. And even being a CFA candidate is a wonderful opportunity. However, what I would say is that the CFA curriculum itself is not necessarily going to give you the skills that you need, unfortunately, to become a trader. Nothing can do that except for on the ground, real world experience. So I would just encourage you to think about that as well. I've said that before. Nothing takes the place of experience. Thank you for the ad. I came across your video. With my experience in financial planning and analysis, mostly modeling, how difficult is it to get my foot in the door to land an M&A role? financial planning and analysis, mostly modeling. So I'm thinking this is from Jordan XVII4. So Jordan XVII4, I'm thinking that when you say financial planning and modeling, I'm thinking you don't mean financial planning in a wealth management sense, like helping people with cash flow budgeting and retirement planning. I'm thinking you're talking probably more about like financial planning as in corporate finance. How difficult it is to get my foot in the door to land in an A role. Jordan XVII4, I have said this before on the channel. I would encourage you to pursue networking strategies that will allow you to expand your visibility within the field. I think the skills that you have definitely will put this in reach. You're not out of it. But however, keep in mind there's a lot of people that have directly been M&A analysts, worked in venture capital, have maybe been a little bit closer with this, and you are now competing with them. So it's really up to you to get yourself in line, create a brand that will be agreeable to people that work in mergers and acquisitions by demonstrating to them that you have the knowledge, skill, and the work ethic, and also that you're kind of a easy person to work with, and that you can be molded and shaped, and that you will listen, and that you'll learn what they say, and you're going to be a good employee. Okay. So now this is from Prashant Dema. I'm a chartered accountant. Should I do the CPA or CFA? Prashant, I have videos on this. I'm going to skip over this question. You should pursue those videos on my channel by using the search button. From John Salustan. Hello, Sarah. My name is Ali. I have a quick question for you. Thinking about switching careers into finance and have the opportunity to attend a CFA-approved Master's in Finance program from a non-prestigious university. After this program, I plan to attain experience and complete my CFA designation, but by the time I finish, I'll be in my early 30s. My question is, will I be too old for an analyst or associate position in a private equity or asset management firm? So that's actually a great question, and I have had this a lot on my channel. See any video like about am I too old to get into equity research or get into investment management? I would say that by the time that you're 30, there's a certain salary expectation that you should have, and I think we can all agree that the monetary requirements we have when we are 22 years old and right out of college are quite different ostensibly from someone who's in their early 30s and maybe has some debt or a mortgage or even a family to support. And realistically, you shouldn't be willing to work for the same amount of money when you're in your early 30s that you are willing to work for when you were in your early 20s. So what I would say about this is that I think what you should do is if you want to get into the field and to get into finance and you're a career changer, and I've spoken about this in other videos on my channel, you will have to search for them. But I think you should do a lateral transfer, and I think you should use the skills that you have to get into the field that you want by showing the commonalities and showing how the common skills that you have can be transferred over. That really would be the angle that I would take. So, Abdallah Al-Bulkier. Good day. I talked to you previously about my pursuit of ESG and you encouraged me to do it. I'm currently working as an ESG analyst. But you know, in Egypt, as in developing countries, the ESG field is not well integrated. I'm sorry to bother you, but if something bad happens or if I want to move to another company, will I find a job in market research? Are they related? How can I market my skills in ESG? I'm a little bit worried about my job security. Abdallah, so I just want to clarify something for you right away, and that's that don't make the mistake of thinking that there is job security for anybody. There's absolutely zero job security. I mean, you're talking to somebody who lived through Lehman Brothers. I mean, I carried my stuff out of the Lehman Brothers building by my own two hands, okay? So I'm just telling you that really there's no security, and the only thing that you can ever have for security is your ability to find another job. That is the only thing that will give your income any level of stability or assurance at all. So what I would tell you about that is, you're never guaranteed a job in anything, but I would, if I were you, Abdallah, I would start networking. I would get out there. I would start to use LinkedIn to connect with people, refresh your resume. All of these things are topics that I cover on this channel. So don't hesitate. The minute that you have any kind of a concern, I mean, I just know for myself, often when I have had a concern about my employment or a concern, like I have a business, when I have a concern about a client leaving, most of the time that does come true. I mean, unfortunately, the reality is that our instincts really don't betray us or lie to us. And, you know, sometimes things can be resolved, but most of the time, if you have this concern, I think it is worth addressing. And like I said, it can never hurt you to just invest time, get out there, start talking to people, start LinkedIn connecting with people, start messaging people, start preparing your resume, preparing a value proposition pitch, all of that. Shripad Kulkarni, ma'am, I'm from India. I'm pursuing the MBA in finance and also doing a CFP from ICICI Securities. I want to know what is the future for the certification and the salary. Shripad, hi. I'm going to improve this comment. I actually don't know to which designation you are referring. Are you referring to the MBA in finance or the CFP? And I'm not sure if the CFP is the same as we have here. Anyways, so please clarify that for me. And as for salary requirements, you could go on to any number of internet sources and find that out. I have general guidelines for salaries, but not without knowing the position, I really wouldn't be able to tell you. Mayank Nagpal. Hey, Sarah, thanks for your suggestion. I'm confused. Should I go for the CFA or the MBA in finance? I don't know. Why don't you watch my videos about that? I have several of them, and perhaps after watching them, that will shed some light on it. Okay, now people are asking me for the study planner. I'm not responding. If you're asking me for a study planner on this channel through the comments, I'm not responding, but please email me out of the summary box below. My email will be clearly listed there. I'll be glad to respond to you on my email, but I'm not going to collect email addresses from this YouTube channel. Appreciate the video. It's a long question from Jamie Carmichael. I'm moving into an equity research position. How can I best prepare myself for the role? The questions you were asking to dig into someone's thoughts is the yield curve, interest rates, gold outlook on the Snap IPO. I'm looking for any other basic topics you think are important to get into the mindset of being an analyst, even if you think it's fairly obvious. Jamie, I would just get on to Seeking Alpha. I would look at what people are writing about. I mean, that can give you enough of an idea of what people are really talking about. News sources, chat rooms, you know, threaded conversations. If you go onto Analyst Forum, you know, there's what the news says, and then there's what people are really talking about. And I would just want to know what people are really talking about on the street. And then there's just the obvious kind of analyst preparation stuff of knowing the fundamentals of the economy. And you should definitely have all of those bases covered. But I think I told you which ones you should be concerning yourself with at this point. Okay. Okay, so now people are having opinions about me. Okay, so held for review. Oh my gosh. So see what else here. Which exam is easier, the CA, which I believe is Chartered Accountant, or the CFA? I have videos about both of those designations, but I don't know because I've never taken the CA. I took the CFA and I passed it 3 times. I'm a charter holder. Okay, so actually I think that's all the comments. Now I have a few more. For some reason, I put all of my comments on moderate because I get people that harass me and I have to delete those comments. But sometimes some comments get through without me approving them. So let me see, I want to make sure that I got those here, the ones that didn't go into the approved category. Does finance cover budgeting? Stone Cold is asking me this question. Does finance cover budgeting? The finance section of the CFA, to my knowledge, when I took it, did not cover budgeting. I believe the CFP designation covers topics such as budgeting, which would, I'm not a CFP, I've never taken the exam, but I believe that personal financial topics such as that would be included on that exam, but I am not sure if budgeting is one of those. Julio Pena. Hey, Julio. Hello, Mrs. Grillo. Well, you could call me Miss Grillo, actually, but thank you. Being told to associate myself with those who are successful, what advice could you give me as a youth looking to start a business and pick a college major? Topics to study or things to do now that would help me with running a very successful business. Julio, I'm going to tell you something very funny. It would be psychology. Isn't that funny? I would say, as an entrepreneur, if from one entrepreneur to someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, of all of the things that I've learned academically, most of them were useful but not completely critical. The most critical training I've ever had was I had sales training. It was not included in my university curriculum, and it was very helpful because before that I had never really known how to make it, how to go and how to pitch myself and how to follow up and all of the business skills. There was so much that went into it. There's so much depth to it, the psychology behind how the buyer thinks about you. So if there's some kind of a business psychology class that you could take, maybe within a psychology track, I would say psychology would probably be the best thing, although I don't know, psychology can sometimes get a little bit too clinical. If it's too on the clinical side of things, like, depression and anxiety and like disorders and stuff like that, I don't think that would be that helpful. But if there is something about like consumer finance psychology or something like that, I would just take lots of those classes and learn as much as you can about what is psychologically going on in the mind of the buyer. That's a great question, Julio. Thanks for posting it. Okay. All right. So, everybody, thank you for watching. I'm going to conclude this video. I really appreciate all of you being watchers of my videos. And if you have a question, please go ahead and email me. I'm going to, post it to the channel, post the questions to the channel. But if you want my study planner or any of my sample equity research models, then I would be very happy for you to email me. My email address will be listed in the summary box below. And if you appreciated the advice that I've given in this video, then please go ahead, give a thumbs up on the channel. Thanks.